Most DNFs in a single season. 16 races, 16 DNFs. If that doesn't deserve a standing ovation, I don't know what does. Lotus in 1986 didn't just flirt with failure. They married it, moved in together, and applied for joint credit cards. This wasn't a bad season. This was performance art. Every race weekend you'd think, surely they'll finish one. Yeah, I don't think so. Suspension failure? Boom! Engine explodes? Obviously. Gearbox meltdown? You bet. It was like watching a car slowly disintegrate over 16 episodes of humiliation. They basically invented the concept of data collection runs. Only back then the data was, this thing breaks everywhere. Imagine being a mechanic in that garage. You don't need to prep the car, you just stand next to it with a fire extinguisher and an apology letter. But the drivers, actual victims, you could tell they weren't even shocked by mid-race breakdowns anymore. They'd just calmly unbuckle, hop out, and start walking back to the paddock like it was routine. Because it was. Lotus 1986 turned the season into a demolition derby, except only their cars exploded. Could this ever happen again? Nope. F1 teams today have more data than NASA. Even Haas finishes races now. Mostly. Crazy if you think about it. This isn't just an unbreakable record, it's a full-on curse, a stat so bad it looped around and became legendary. Other teams raced to win. Lotus, they raced to see which component would die first. Longest gap between wins, 6 years, 6 months, 28 days. That's not a gap, that's a whole career. Riccardo Patrese didn't just take a break from winning, he left F1, lived a full emotional arc, and then after all that time won again. His first win? 1982. Guys were wrenching cars in crop tops, smoking cigs like they were energy bars, and seatbelts were more of a suggestion. His next win, 1990. People were pretending mullets was still socially acceptable. But what happened in between? Oh, just everything. Turbo era ended, new teams arrived, Prost won 3 titles, Senna became a god, F1 evolved, and Patrese just kept showing up like the guy at your office who never quits but also never gets promoted. But then, bam, Imola 1990. He wins again, out of nowhere. After 78 races of nothing, no podiums, no clout, just pure stubbornness. That win wasn't skill. That was the universe going, you know what? Fine. It's the most backhanded Cinderella story in motorsport. He didn't fight his way to the front. The grid just got bored and let him have one. Could someone beat this? Absolutely not. Drivers today don't survive 6 years without winning. They get replaced by 17-year-olds with rich dads and a TikTok following. Patrice's win gap is eternal, not because no one can match it, but because no one's allowed to try. F1 now has a short attention span. You're either a winner or you're future IndyCar material. Most races without a win. Ah yes, the P5 merchant. Nico Hülkenberg holds a record so soul-crushing it should come with therapy. Most races without a single win, over 200 and counting. Not a fluke win, not a rain-soaked miracle, just a lifetime subscription to midfield mediocrity. He is the most consistent underachiever in F1 history. A one-man reminder that talent means absolutely nothing if you're driving a glorified lawnmower. This man won Le Mans, he beat champions in junior series, he's outqualified teammates, but yet, in F1, he's the Zara of drivers. Decent fit, zero prestige. Every time there's chaos in a race, rain, crashes, 5 safety cars, the grid shuffles, and you think, maybe this is Hülkenberg's time. Wrong. Every single time, something will go wrong. Box too late. Tyre gamble fails, or he just disappears into P9 like a magician pulling a vanishing act. It's become so iconic, even he jokes about it now. At this point, the meme is the legacy. And what's worse, teams keep calling him back. Haas, Renault, Racing Point, he's the human band-aid of F1. Need a driver? Can't afford chaos? Get Nico. He won't win, but he also won't crash your car into a Rolex sign. This record's unbreakable for one simple reason. No team today has the patience. If you don't deliver a win in like 40 races max, you're out. You're reserve driver for Mahindra Formula E by next week. But Nico, he hung around like that USB you swear you lost, only to find it chilling in your laptop 10 years later. The fastest pit stop ever, 1.82 seconds. That's not a pit stop, that's teleportation. That's less time than it takes YouTube to play an ad. Red Bull's 2019 crew didn't just change tyres, they broke physics. 4 wheels off, 4 wheels on, and a clean release in the time it takes you to blink badly. But let's be clear, this wasn't luck. This was a pit crew, so dialed in they could have performed open heart surgery on the car with their eyes closed. The level of coordination? Robotic. Probably illegal. Wouldn't be surprised if they were all secretly robots in Red Bull polos. Meanwhile, other teams are out here fumbling nuts, dropping tyres, or accidentally launching the car with a jack still attached. Ferrari's pit crew probably gets PTSD just watching this replay. It happened in Brazil 2019 on Verstappen's car, and in that moment, Red Bull became the John Wick of pit stops. Clean, lethal, no wasted movement. To beat this record today, you'd have to physically break the rules of space-time. Either that, or ask Toto Wolff to install jetpacks on the car. And honestly, he might try. But here's the wild part. Even Red Bull can't beat it now. The cars are heavier, tyres are bulkier, FIA pit lane regulations have tightened. So unless someone invents tyre changers who move at anime speed, this record's fossilized. It's untouchable, a mic drop stat, the kind of number you frame and hang in the garage with the caption, "Don't bother trying." Because while the rest of us need 3 minutes to find the remote, Red Bull changed 4 tires and won the internet in under 2 seconds. Most consecutive starts without a DNF. Nick freaking Heidfeld, the man nobody remembers until this stat drops. 41 consecutive races without a DNF. No crashes, no mechanical failures, no spontaneous combustion, just pure, uninterrupted finishing energy. Was he fast? No. Was he exciting? Absolutely not. Was he reliable? Like Fernando Sucre. If you know, you know. Nick Heidfeld didn't just finish races, he survived them. While chaos reigned around him, he drove like a dad in traffic with 2 kids sleeping in the backseat. Spa, survived. Monaco, no scratches. Brazil, rain, doesn't matter. Car brought home with a thank you note to engineering. It's not glamorous, it's not heroic, but it's a level of consistency that other drivers can't. But look, this isn't just about staying out of the wall, it's about surviving F1's golden age of unreliability. We're talking V10 engines with the temperament of a toddler and gearboxes held together by prayer. But not Nick. He just showed up, drove the car, avoided drama, and collected points like a guy clipping grocery coupons. No fireworks, no headlines, just finish after finish after finish. Could someone break it today? Not a chance. Modern drivers can't go 3 weekends without punting someone into the gravel or complaining their steering wheel is a bit off. Heidfeld's record is the F1 equivalent of drinking water and minding your business, and somehow getting legendary status for it. He never got a win, never got the hype, but he did finish more races in a row than most drivers do in their entire careers. Respect for that. Most overtakes in a single race. Alright, sit down, because this one's straight up anime arc. Sebastian Vettel, Brazil, 2012, 22 overtakes in one race, in a championship decider, in the rain, with a damaged car, on lap 1. If you tried pitching this as a Netflix script, they'd reject it for being too unrealistic. So here's what happened. Seb starts P4, title on the line, light rain, perfect tension. Then, boom, first lap. Spun around like a Beyblade by Bruno Senna, half his car bodywork hanging off, and dead last. Championship over, right? Wrong. What followed was the single greatest recovery drive of his life, possibly of anyone's life. He didn't just overtake people, he bullied them. Passed 22 cars like he was ordering a coffee. Kamui, see ya. Massa, bye. Alonso's title hopes, deleted. He had no telemetry, the car was broken, and the rain kept switching on and off like someone was trolling him with a weather remote. But Seb, he didn't flinch. He drove like a man possessed. Like a kid speedrunning an F1 video game on easy mode. The radio was silent, not because everything was fine, but because even the engineers had no clue what was happening anymore. It was over in P6, enough to seal the championship, after starting at the front, getting murdered on lap 1, and turning into the Terminator for 70 laps. Could this record be broken? Unlikely, because now we've got DRS trains, tyre management lectures, and a steward's room that throws out time penalties like candy at Halloween. To do what Vettel did that day, you'd need chaos, courage, and the soul of a 3-time champ with zero chill. Most races to score points. This one hurts, like really hurts. Luca Badoa, 50 races, 0 points. Wait, what? Not one, not a pity 10th place. Not even a lucky rain race fluke. Just endless pain. This man played F1 on ultra-hard mode, blindfolded. He holds the record for most races without scoring a single point, and it's honestly tragic. He wasn't bad, he was just spectacularly unlucky. Drove for teams like Minardi and Forti, basically F1's answer to racing in a shopping cart. But the worst part? His one big chance came in 2009. Massa got injured, Ferrari needed a backup. Enter Badoa. After a decade as their test driver, he finally gets his shot in a real car. How'd it go? Picture someone taking a Ferrari, flipping it into beginner mode, and then forgetting what a braking point is. Finished dead last. Spun in the pit lane. Yes, really. His radio comms were basically just his race engineer sighing into the mic. The internet had a field day. Memes, forums, full-blown documentaries titled "What the Hell, Ferrari?" After 2 races, he was politely yeeted out of the seat and replaced by Giancarlo Fisichella, a man who also didn't score, but at least didn't drive like he was playing Mario Kart Panic Edition. Could anyone beat this stat? Not anymore. F1 gives points to P10 now. You could finish with 3 wheels and a nose cone made of tape and still sneak a point. But Luca, he lived through the harsh old days, when only the top 6 scored, when driving for Minardi meant your biggest competition was the gravel trap. And he never gave up, never complained, just kept showing up week after week ready to suffer, so no one's touching this one. Because to break it, you'd need his luck, his team's, and absolutely zero shame. Smallest winning margin ever. This race didn't end. It blinked. Monza 1971, the winner, Peter Gethin. The margin? 0.01 seconds. You read that right, 100th of a second. That's not a win, that's 2 guys crossing the line and the stopwatch just guessing. It was the closest finish in F1 history, and honestly, we're lucky there was even a camera angle. If you pause the footage at the line, it looks like 5 cars are merging into one transformer. This wasn't a two-man duel, it was a full-on drag race. 5 cars within 0.6 seconds. They were slipstreaming like it was Mario Kart with 0 blue shells and unlimited boost. Now, Monza back then didn't have chicanes. It was full send, low downforce, big draft zones, and engines tuned to scream until they either won or exploded. Spoiler, some did both. Peter Gethin wasn't even supposed to win. The man had 0 wins before this. He just happened to be in the right place at the right time, with the right amount of, I'm sending it whether you like it or not. He came out of the parabolica, floored it, and yeeted across the line half a pixel ahead of the guy next to him. But the best part, no one even saw it clearly. The crowd was like, wait, who won? Timekeepers had to check manually. Imagine trying to settle that with 1970s technology. They probably used a ruler and a strong opinion. Could this ever be broken? Nope. The FIA doesn't even record anything more precise than 0.01 seconds. So even if 2 cars finish 0.000000001 apart today, it's still officially a tie. This record is permanent, not because it can't be beaten, but because the sport literally doesn't have the tools to admit it. Peter Gethin didn't just win a race, he won the final round of who gets remembered by the thinnest possible margin.